Today is a series of research ideas and a first draft of sketching in building a new work called Self-Portrait. The Memorial Foundation of Jewish Culture has allowed me to pursue some written research into the Sephardi influences that are embedded within flamenco. How do you summon the ancestors?
Some of the feelings that were conjured up for you, given that this is like a self-portrait, and I guess getting a sense of, how that's sort of been drawing into sort of your influence of what you're exploring now.
And there was something about Isabel that didn't add up. There was something in my intuition about her and my dad and flamenco, and I didn't know what this connection was. And she lived in a little flat in Cogra. And I got to the door and stood in the doorway, and she was like this tall. But I could see out the corner of my eye her mantelpiece, which was covered in all these flamenco dolls, the Spanish 70s kitsch ones with the big dresses. What do you want? What do you want to know? Well, I just want to know who we are. Who are your parents? Who are my grandparents? Where do we come from? We're Spanish Jews. We come from Spain. Queen Isabel kicked us out in 1492. The historical timeline that I'm interested in is from 1492 of the expulsion to when flamenco emerged and was recorded in the mid-1800s. And my gut is that Sephardi practices and rituals may have cross-pollinated in this period as Jews practiced in secrecy, and eventually they grew into their own unique expression within flamenco.
Ladino traditional music is the female voice and the singer. It's the interrelationship between the dance, the guitar, the voice.
The flamenco guitar itself lends itself very much to a female voice. I prefer accompanying a female because you can set the guitar to a higher register. It's really sharp and crisp, and it's very cutting.
You referred a few times to this research topic as controversial. So I'd like to hear what is so controversial about the combination.
I think from an academic point of view, because there isn't enough to substantiate the proposition that there is these connections with Jewish culture and flamenco. You get underneath the surface of that and it could be anti-Semitism, maybe people aren't ready for it yet.
Thought it was rather staccato in many of the movements that you have, which is rather interesting, rather than perhaps the flowing ear that you see in perhaps ballet and some other forms. So
the difference, say, between ballet and flamenco is that in flamenco you are expected to be very individual. Until you are individual, you haven't really reached. When you are able to embody this form in your own way. For me, dance is spiritual. It is to enter practice with a sense of the divine and to release that into movement. It is a reverence for the body, and yet it is ethereal. Flamenco holds space for the divine to enter. It holds reverence for the voice, the body, and the sound, and it is through flamenco that my ancestry met me. We carry stories in our bodies. Like pieces of history in living memory. The African, the Gitano, Gypsies, the Jews and the Arabs, the blackness, the other of flamenco. But African rhythms are definitely there, for sure. I mean, for me, tangos is African. You know, it's a particular 4/4 rhythm.
Flamenco isn't steps. Flamenco is the spirit of the voice of the fight of the people for the injustices that happen in their lives, regardless. It's not racial. And that's why when you see Sephardic influence, or you see Celtic, or you see Arabic, it's because flamenco is the spirit of the voices of those that have been pushed to the fringes. And that's what flamenco is.
The blessing of memory.